Greetings, brethren, Hausburger Donkey here again, and I wanted to show you some reinforcements that I've procured for my Oathmark collection. I still have a bunch of goblins left, so there's still some goblin soldiers and some goblin wolf riders, and I will paint all these first. I think there's in total another 30 goblin infantry and 15 goblin wolf riders. But I also wanted to get a little enemy force going and get some more reinforcements for the goblins themselves as well. And I was thinking for the last few days and weeks, I suppose, what I was gonna go for, elves or get a bunch of dwarves and stuff. But I remembered these, and what this is I bought these for Kings of War sometime last year, when they announced that there would be a new faction for Kings of War in 3rd edition, the Northern Alliance, which was a bunch of barbarians and dwarves and frosty elves and snow trolls and stuff like that. And for that I bought 60 Frostgrave barbarians and a box of Oathmark dwarves. And that's what you can see here. There's 5 barbarians missing because they kind of got a bit too damaged in the refurbishing process, so I just left them out. Yeah, what I had them previously set up for 2 Kings of War hordes of just clan warriors, and then there were 8 of them for a troop of pack hunters. And what I've done is to repurpose them for Oathmark is, obviously I put them all on their individual 25mm square Oathmark bases now, and obviously, as you can see, as is tradition, I was just short of putting the whole army on bases, but oh well, I'll just have to order some more. But yeah, what I did is I sort of sorted out the ones that I had already built, and I took all the ones that had the cool sort of Conan-esque, the cool, let me adjust the light a bit. The cool Conan-esque helmets, and there's also these sort of more Skyrim-looking helmets. And I took these and decided these will be my my human warriors, and I gave them leftover. I think they're Iberian shields from Victrix, from my Carthaginian project last year. Yeah, I think they must be from the Iberians. Maybe there's some Celtic ones in there as well, I don't know. But yeah, I took those shields because they're a bit bigger and a bit more imposing. And these are going to be my warriors. I have 10 of them. The commander has a big old warhammer from the Frostgrave Barbarian set, and then there's one with whom I gave a spear from the Oathmark Dwarf set, and that's just going to be a small flag. They're just going to have really rough, shoddy, small flags, these guys. And yeah, so I set up one unit of 10 warriors with all the helmeted ones, which kind of means there's not a lot of variation in that unit. They only have 2 different helmets. It's that Conan-style helmet and that Skyrim-style helmet. But I think for a small 10-man unit, that's fine. Then I have all the ones that have that had heads without helmets and just shaggy beards and hairstyles. I previously had as you can see, a lot of the dwarves have brown shields. It's because all the barbarians had dwarf shields before, because I was kind of using the dwarves with 2-handed weapons, which I took off. But yeah, so I gave all the bear-headed guys the actual Frostgrave barbarian shields, which come in 2 varieties. It's this sort of embossed shield, and then this sort of hide-covered shield. And yeah, and these are going to be just normal human soldiers, and I have 20 of them. Also with a little command. Again, one guy with a dwarf spear as a flag, and then this guy who has 2 hammers from the dwarf set. I think he'll make an excellent officer for this unit of soldiers. And then, as I said, I had 8 of these bowmen set up for a unit of pack hunters in Kings of War. But yeah, I just added 2 more. I just took the arms off 2 barbarians and just added 2 more bowmen, and that makes a 10-man human archers unit, which is excellent. And then I had these guys, which are mostly armed with spears from the barbarian kit, as well as sort of dual daggers or just dual wielding in general. And I gave them these. All the shields are definitely, like the extra gray shields, they're definitely from the Victrix Iberian kit, because these are actually the Citrati shields that you get, these Cestus shields in that kit. So yeah, I gave them all these little Citrati shields, and the spearmen have them on their arm. Well, they all kind of have them on their arm. And these will be militia. So I have 1 unit of 15 human militia. And that'll be my little sort of barbarian contingent. I don't think I'm going to get any more barbarians. I don't know, I might, but yeah. What would I even make? Maybe some line breakers and maybe some archers. I don't know, maybe I'll get some more barbarians. But in general, I think I'll just mix them together with the dwarves or with other stuff, and that'll be good enough. I'm also gonna, I'm definitely gonna paint these differently from the goblins. The goblins, I'm taking quite a lot of care in painting them. I think with these barbarians, I'm just gonna speed paint the whole lot. Just get them, just re-prime them brown to get all the shields and extra arms brown. And then just go over them with some extra brown and green tones. Then wash the whole thing, put on the faces and the weapons, and be done with it. Yeah, because I just want some extra bulk for my armies and have an opposition force, so I can do some test games with people once the lockdown is over. Yeah, and then I have these dwarves. I had 12 with hand weapons and shield. As you can see, some of them don't have the green bases yet, sadly, because I was out. But yeah, these will just be regular dwarf soldiers, and I have 15 of them. I added a few more. This one, for example, just added some extra arms that I had. This was a bow arm, which is why he's holding it out a bit. And yeah, the shield I had used previously on the barbarians, so that's why it's brown. I think I'm going to prime... Initially, for the Kings of War project, these were also supposed to be speed painted. That's why the dwarves are silver, because I absolutely despise painting silver, especially chainmails. But I think I'm going to reprime the dwarves black, and then take the same level of care I take on the goblins and make them a nice project. I also have, well, there's a leader. It's not too fancy, but I gave each dwarf unit a bannerman. Their banner poles are not bad. They're decently thick, much like the spears. I think the banner poles are even thicker than this. So they are decently sturdy. I'm not too worried about the spears themselves, but I was a bit worried about this banner pole because it was quite a bit longer as well than the spears. He holds it up like this. And yeah, once a flag is on there and, you know, you come against it, I didn't want to break it. So I took the time and replaced it with a cutoff from a wire spear. I usually buy the long wire spears and then snip off the top as I don't need them. So I have these rods left over usually for banner poles and all sorts of other stuff. And then I made a second unit of spearmen. These were previously with two-handed weapons from the barbarian kit, and I snipped those arms off and gave them spears and shields. And yeah, and that's that bit. And then I don't think I've showed off these before yet either. So yeah, and from the Kings of War project, I also have this Norse giant from Reaper, but I don't know if I'm gonna add it. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if it looks... It's very fantasy, and I don't know if I like it, you know, with the general Oathmark aesthetic I'm going for. So I don't know, maybe I'll use this, maybe I won't. But yeah, I don't think I've showed these before. These are my snake men. Get the light over here a bit better. These are from Frostgrave Ghost Archipelago, and I really like these miniatures. I think they're gorgeous. And I made 10 of them as a unit of line breakers. I'm probably just going to play them as orcs. Yeah, and I just gave them all the two-handed weapons from the Snake Men kit and spears, and there's 2 with dual wield, but they just mix in. It's fine. Then we have some trolls, and these are also from Reaper. It's 3 different trolls. I think this is a cave troll. I think this is a cave troll champion with a club and some horns. And then this is a named one. I forgot what he's called, and I think he's like a frog troll or something like that. I don't remember quite what his name was. Thralg, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I thought they fit together pretty well as a unit. And so I did that. And I finally attached the spiders to their bases. I don't know if it's even visible, but the holes that they had in their butts, I filled that out with milliput. And yeah, I think they came out really, really creepy looking. And they fit on the bases pretty perfectly, so they'll make excellent giant spiders, I think, for Oathmark. And then lastly, my last monster is this giant warg, which is also from Reaper, and he's going to be a bar guest in Oathmark. I wanted him to stand on a rock, so I went for a walk in the woods and found a nice flat rock that would fit on a 50 mil base. And I put him with his integrated base on top of it, and then just milliput it around it, used another rock and some sculpting tools to sort of give the milliput a rocky texture and blend it in. And once this is painted, it shouldn't really look too bad. And if any sort of edges are standing out, I'll use the moss trick that I showed you to cover that up, and that'll look pretty great, and he'll look really menacing. And he's quite large. He's a large fella. So he's not quite big enough, in my opinion, for a proper monster. So I wanted him to have a nice big base to stand on to make him look even more imposing. So I think now he makes for a pretty excellent monster. And that is all I have for now. As you can see, I have a lot to paint for Oathmark, but we'll get to it. I mean, as I said, all these brown barbarians, this is all going to be speed painting, and then the other stuff will be regular painting, but I'll get to it in time. All right, that's all I wanted to show you. Oh my god, really long video again. At some point, I'll manage to make them shorter. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice week, and I hope your stuff's going great too. Bye-bye.